Hey, what's going on, everyone? So today I got something special for everyone here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to teach you guys how to calculate your estimated daily macronutrient requirements, okay? So this is just an estimate, but it should give you a ballpark of where you should start, okay? And then you could kind of play with it from there and adjust according to your goals, whether you want to get bigger or you want to get more cut. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the Muller equation, okay? So the four things you're gonna need to know your lean body mass in kilos. Okay, you're gonna need your fat mass. You need to know your age and your sex. Okay, so for me, I'll show you an example of how I did mine. What I did was I used an electrical impedance scale. So just to give me an estimate, I know they're not the most accurate, but it's pretty like easy and it's the most accessible tool that I have for body fat. So at the time, this was a little, maybe a couple months ago, what I did was I was at 77 kilos and 11% body fat. Okay. So based on that, I calculated my lean body mass, okay, which was 69.5 kilos. My fat mass is basically everything left over, right? So, and the fat mass, in case you're wondering how to calculate that, that's 11% of your total weight. Okay. So once you calculate your fat mass, you could subtract that from your total weight, and then the remainder is your lean body mass. Okay, because lean body mass is muscle, but it's also bone and water and basically everything else. Okay, age. If you can't figure out your age, then I can't help you. All right, and then the last piece is sex. So I'm just being a goofball. I just put yes, please. But obviously male or female. So the equation that we use, okay, is written down right there. Okay, so 13.587 times your lean body mass plus 9.613 times your fat mass plus 1.98. So if you're a man, you're going to multiply that by one, okay? And if a female, it's a 0. So basically that's the difference between males and females, right? And then you're going to add 674, and that's going to give you your basal metabolic rate. So basal metabolic rate is basically how much energy you're burning through the day. Because based on your goals, if you're looking to gain muscle, obviously you need to hit the gym, but you need to be in a caloric surplus, okay? And if you're looking to get dialed in and lose body fat and get shredded up, then you need to be in a caloric deficit. Okay, so it's going to give you a ballpark of where you should start with calculating your macros. Okay, but one thing you also need to keep in mind is how active you are through the day. Okay, so that's where the activity guide comes into play. So if you're sedentary, like just straight up desk job and not training, you take your basal metabolic rate, so this guy here that we calculated, and you multiply it times 1.2. Okay, if you're lightly active, so say you have a desk job, but you go to the gym a couple days a week, then you multiply it by 1.375. If you're moderately active, so say, you have a desk job, but you go hard in the gym, then multiply it by 1.55. Or also if you're just training kind of regular, but you have like a job like that, you're pretty active, say like walking a lot through the day, like in a warehouse or whatever, just like light walking, then it's the same thing. Very active is somebody who has like a hard job. So say you're working in a warehouse picking orders or something, or a mailman, and then you're still going hard in the gym, then it's times 1.725. And then if you have an extremely hard job, like say you're doing like heavy duty construction, and you're going beast mode in the gym, then your hashtag beast mode 1.9. Okay, so you have to take that into equation. Okay, so I have mine as an example here. So I took all those numbers, I plugged them in, blah, blah, blah. You kind of run through. My basal metabolic rate was 1,778. I put myself as moderately active because I'm like mostly walking through the day with like light picking up weights. Like when I'm training my clients, it's nothing really too strenuous for me. But I am training pretty hard. I'm lifting about 5 days a week and thinking about cardio, but I'm not there yet. I'm like, bridging the gap slowly. So yeah, my daily estimate was 2756. So what I did was, I'll show you in another video of how I went about creating a meal plan for myself based on these macros, like how much fats, how much proteins, and how much carbs you should have, so you can set it up accordingly, right? So that's what I did. Keep in mind, the biggest take home from this is that this is an estimate. So it could be higher, it could be lower, right? So my recommendation, what I do with myself and also my other clients, is I'll use this equation to calculate where they're at if they're going to be a little bit more strict calculating their macronutrients. And then I'll keep them there for a few weeks, usually like 3 to 4 weeks, right? And then you're going to be watching trends. You're looking at, you could retest the body fat on like your whatever fat measuring tool like bioelectrical impedance, or if you're lucky enough to have access to DEXA or skin fold measurements, that's even better. As long as you could take the skin fold measurements properly. And then also looking at body composition, like, am I getting fatter? Am I getting leaner? Am I gaining weight? Am I losing weight? So you have to look at all those variables when determining if you should be adding food to be a maintenance. Like if you're losing, then you're below maintenance, right? And if you're getting fatter, then that's a high estimate, right? So then you kind of tweak accordingly from there, right? So that's basically your start point. So test yours out, and then it'll give you a ballpark where you're at, right? So then you can start making progress one way or the other, right? So next video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you all how to take that grand total of macronutrients and break it down into something like a meal plan that works for you. All right, so stay tuned. I'll get back to you all shortly with more info.